The Unspelling. New Orleans remembers things that should have stayed buried. Last time, the mirrors begin to wake. A weeping rosary opened something thin and watching. Bernard was called back to a past that does not release what it takes, and something in the reflection began to recognize him. The angel egg stirred and chose someone unexpected, and across the city, something old pressed closer to the surface, testing the boundaries between reflection and flesh. Now the dead are no longer content to remain quiet, and what was done is beginning to remember itself. Episode 9, The Unspelling. What the Water Remembers. The crew rarely slept deeply. Old houses collected whispers, the way harbors collected silt, layer by layer, century by century. But before dawn, the house held itself so intensely still that Evelyn woke as though surfacing from deep water. The sound came again. Drip. Not rain, not plumbing, something slower. Waited, patient. She followed it barefoot down the hallway, where the air felt cooler, touched by a cold she did not recognize. The mirror at the end, the one Lucien insisted remained from his childhood home, was fogged from the inside. The inside. Evelyn stopped breathing. A handprint appeared on the glass, small, delicate, fingers long enough to belong to a girl, just grown. Water gathered along its outline and trickled downward, as though someone were being pulled slowly, relentlessly, underwater. Evelyn whispered, "Sabine?" The handprint slid lower, smearing the fog, leaving streaks like tear cracks. Then, just before the glass cleared entirely, a thin voice whispered from behind the mirror.
"He chose me."
The fog evaporated. The mirror was simply a mirror again. But Evelyn stood a long time, remembering the way drowning looks in silence. Lucien Devereux was at the kitchen table with 3 open ledgers and a map of New Orleans spread beneath the breakfast plates. His coffee had gone cold without his noticing. His eyes were unfocused, as though he were listening for footsteps from another century. "Sabine reached out again," Evelyn said. Lucien's breath caught. Evelyn recounted the handprint, the voice. The color drained from his face, like ink dissolving in water.
She was trying to show us something.
His hand rested on the ledger.
She lit a candle at St. Otilia the night she died. I found the entry. She begged for sanctuary.
From what? Lucien closed the ledger gently, as if it contained fragile bones.
That's what we're going to find out.
What is broken, and who helps carry it? The crew felt different the moment Mercy stepped inside. Too quiet, too hollow. The rooms hummed with a familiar, magical residue, but something else threaded through it now. Grief. Her grief. She clutched Bellamy's ledger to her chest, fingers white-knuckled around the cracked spine. She expected to hear Evelyn's voice float from the kitchen, or Lucien call down from the stairwell. Instead, the place felt abandoned.
I can help you track her,
Mercy
but
called,
not from here.
trying for steady and getting only brittle. No answer. She stepped further in and stopped. A man stood near one of the long tables, sleeves rolled, hair slightly mussed, steadying a half-disassembled phone with the same expression a surgeon might give a cadaver. The moment Mercy crossed the threshold, the lights overhead flickered violently. He sighed.
Right. Sorry. This house hates me.
Mercy blinked, taken aback.
Who are you?
He turned toward her, surprised to hear another voice. His expression softened when he saw her face, pale, tight, exhausted past the point of dignity.
I'm Cassian.
His voice was calm, deep, and unexpectedly gentle.
You must be Sister Mercy.
Her throat clenched.
Evelyn?
Gone.
He said.
She left with Lucien about an hour ago. Something about a church.
Mercy closed her eyes. She had come here ready to be strong, to be composed, to ask Evelyn for help deciphering the bureaucratic labyrinth that had swallowed Lenore 3 years ago. But the plan collapsed inside her chest like wet paper. Cassian noticed. He looked at her, not intrusively, but the way someone looks at a painting and understands it's cracked, but still beautiful.
Are you all right?
He asked softly. Mercy shook her head once, and then, without meaning to, without wanting to, she broke.
It's Bellamy.
She whispered.
She's dead. 3 years now. And Lenore, my little girl, she's gone. Taken. Placed somewhere else, buried in paperwork and lies in the Order's shadows, and I can't.
Her voice fractured.
I don't know where to begin.
Cassian's brow furrowed, but not in confusion, in recognition. He set the broken phone down gently. He asked to see the ledger. Mercy hesitated, then handed it over as though surrendering something sacred. Cassian flipped through the pages, scanning Bellamy's handwriting with quiet intensity. He lingered on the last 3 entries. When he spoke, his voice was quieter than before.
You've been carrying this a long time.
Mercy pressed her lips together hard.
I don't share things. I don't need anyone to.
You do.
Cassian said gently, meeting her eyes.
Right now, you do.
Mercy inhaled sharply, the way a wound inhales air when the bandage finally comes off. Cassian closed the ledger.
I can help you track her, but not from here.
Mercy blinked.
Why not?
Cassian gestured toward the nearby lamp. The bulb fizzled out instantly.
Electronics don't work right here.
He said simply.
The crew doesn't like computers, Wi-Fi especially. I need a proper machine, wide connections, secure networks, and walls that don't shimmer every time I open an email.
Mercy frowned.
So what do we do now?
We leave.
Cassian said.
Preferably somewhere I can access a stable network and tools that won't explode on contact. A coffee shop works in a pinch. But I do consulting for a tech firm downtown. I have a badge. I can get us into their cutting-edge facilities.
You're a cybersecurity consultant?
Cassian's smile didn't reach his eyes, but it wasn't unkind.
I'm good at finding things that don't want to be found.
Mercy's breath trembled. Lenore, her baby, lost, hidden, erased by bureaucracy and magic and fear. And now this stranger, Kane, her mind hissed, though she pushed the name away, was offering help.
Mercy,
Cassian said softly, as though making the choice lighter instead of heavier.
let me help carry this.
Her defenses crumbled the rest of the way.
All right,
She whispered.
let's go.
Cassian picked up the ledger carefully, respectfully, as though he knew exactly how much of Mercy's heart was pressed between its pages. The lights flickered again as they approached the door. Cassian winced.
See, I told you. This place hates me.
Mercy actually snorted, an exhausted, broken thing that almost resembled a laugh. Together, they stepped into the sunlight. Mercy didn't look back. She didn't dare. Behind them, As the door shut, the angel egg pulsed once, soft gold, like a heartbeat, signaling the beginning of something neither of them yet understood. Sister Corinne remembers. St. Odelia's looked abandoned from the outside, roof line sagging, bell tower leaning, vines swallowing the stone. But when they stepped inside, warm lamplight brushed the pews, incense floated in the air, soft as a lullaby. Someone had lit candles recently. Their flames flickered as if startled by visitors. An old nun, back straight, hands folded around a rosary. Her presence felt as natural as breath. "I remember her," Sister Corinne said before they even reached her. Her voice was soft, melodic. "Sabine Devereaux. Poor child." Lucien's knees nearly buckled. "She came barefoot," Corinne continued. "She was shaking so hard, I thought she might fall apart entirely." "What was she afraid of?" Evelyn asked. Corinne turned her gaze toward the altar candles, watching their reflections tremble in the polished brass. "She said someone in her family had made a bargain, that a name had been spoken in the courtyard, a name she wasn't meant to hear. Morvant." Her expression dimmed. She believed that hearing the demon's name put her life in danger. Lucien's chest tightened painfully. Corinne reached beneath the pew beside her and lifted a small wooden slat, its edges worn from decades of fingers brushing it. A symbol had been carved into it, quick, desperate strokes. A sigil for unraveling, for undoing what should never have been done. "She carved this while she prayed," Corinne said. "I didn't understand it at the time. I only knew she feared something already in motion." "Did anyone come looking for her?" Evelyn asked. Corinne nodded slowly. "A man waited outside the doors, lantern in hand, his face." She shivered. "I could not see it clearly, no matter how I tried. As if the light itself refused him." Lucien flinched so subtly, Evelyn might have missed it had she not been watching him. Corinne lowered her gaze. "She left with him. I prayed the angels would keep her safe." Silence settled like ash. Lucien whispered,
"Thank you."
Corinne smiled, sad, gentle. "Peace to her, and to you." They walked back down the aisle. Halfway to the door, Evelyn realized she no longer heard Corinne's rosary clicking softly against the pew. Lucien reached the entrance first. He stepped outside into human daylight. Evelyn paused, overcome by a sudden chill. She looked back. The church interior was dark. The candles were unlit. The pew where Corinne had sat was covered in a thick, undisturbed layer of dust. The rosary lay abandoned on the floor, cold metal glinting in a thin beam of sun slicing through a cracked window. "Lucien, that sister? She's been dead a long time." A man passing by on the sidewalk looked at them strangely.
"Y'all okay? That place hasn't been open since Katrina."
Evelyn closed her eyes briefly. When she opened them, she could still smell incense clinging to her clothes. The search in the wirelight. Mercy sat beside Cassian in the dim glow of the consulting office, Bellamy's ledger open on her lap. The paper felt softer than skin, worn from years of Bellamy's hands, turning the same pages again and again. She kept searching, as if she might find the answers that were never there. Cassian leaned forward slightly.
All right, tell me everything you know.
Mercy's breath shook.
After Bellamy died, everything fell apart.
She reached for composure and failed.
The neighbor told me DCFS showed up the next morning. They went through Bellamy's things, looking for paperwork, Lenore's birth certificate, adoption papers, anything.
She shook her head, eyes glassy.
They found nothing.
Cassian's expression shifted. Interest sharpened into concern.
Nothing at all.
No.
Mercy closed the ledger.
Because Bellamy wasn't her mother. She'd taken Lenore in secretly, hidden her from the order, from everyone.
Cassian absorbed this in silence.
And no one knew.
Mercy continued.
Not the school, not the parish, not the neighbors. They all thought Lenore was her daughter. And Bellamy let them believe that to keep her safe.
Cassian sat back, slowly.
I see.
Do you?
Mercy whispered.
Because when DCFS couldn't find any documentation, they made it an emergency case. She had no legal guardian, no history, no origin, and they...
Her voice broke. Cassian's jaw tightened.
And that's where Hartwell comes in.
Mercy nodded. Mercy explained that the neighbor had told her that Mrs. Hartwell had retired to Homa to live with her sister. And that's as far as the trail went.
Then we start there.
Cassian said, turning to his computer. He typed quickly, filtering state records with precision born from years of quiet expertise. Names scrolled past, many Hartwells, too many dead ends. He narrowed the search by date, then by agency, then by region. His posture changed. He read the screen to her. There was only one Hartwell working DCFS emergency intake in that time frame. Meredith A. Hartwell, Terrebonne Parish. Mercy leaned in so fast, her chair squeaked on the floor. Cassian opened the case file summary. Case, emergency custody intake. Child, female, first name Lenore, no surname, guardian at time of death, Jones, Bellamy. Assigned caseworker, Hartwell, Meredith A. Finding, no legal documentation for child, no birth record, no medical history. Status, transfer initiated. Outcome, sealed by judicial order. Mercy felt the world tilt.
They realized she wasn't Bellamy's child.
She whispered.
And instead of helping her, trying to find her real mother, they buried the case.
Cassian scrolled further. A second record emerged. Meredith A. Hartwell, deceased. Cause of death, not listed. Estate, closed by next of kin. Personal file, restricted. Cassian exhaled slowly.
That's 3 months after this transfer began.
3 months after they took Lenore.
Mercy said. Cassian clicked the attached contact. A landline. One name. S. Hartwell. Sister. He looked at Mercy.
Are you ready?
No.
She said honestly.
Would call anyway.
Cassian dialed. The phone rang. Mercy clutched Bellamy's ledger to her chest, as though it would keep her heart inside her ribs. On the fourth ring, the voice answered. Hello? The camera that shows too much. Celeste, curled up on her bed with her laptop, scrolling through the cemetery shots she'd taken that afternoon. She hadn't expected anything useful or even interesting. Just practice photos, something to do with her hands. But halfway through the batch, she froze. There was a figure in one image, barely. Just the edge of someone walking between two tombs, a shoulder, a sliver of jawline, the impression of movement. She hadn't noticed him at the time. She zoomed in. Everything around him was crisp. The wrought iron fence, the cracked marble angels, the threads of moss, but the figure himself, blurred, soft-edged, faintly distorted, like heat haze over asphalt, a person half caught by the world. She leaned closer, trying to see details. The laptop screen flickered. A shimmer passed across the display, like someone had breathed on the inside of the glass. Celeste blinked and reached out to wipe it. Her reflection stared back at her from the glossy bezel. Except, when she moved her hand, the reflection didn't. Celeste's stomach dropped. In the courtyard, the fountain waited in the center of it all, like an open mouth carved into the earth. Evelyn slowed as she approached, struck by how wrong the water looked. Not calm, not stagnant, not natural. It was too smooth, like glass pulled taut over something alive, a watching stillness, a judging stillness.
Sabine showed me the inside of a mirror,
she whispered.
I think she's trying to show us more.
Lucien didn't answer. His jaw was tight, his shoulders braced as though for a blow. He moved toward the fountain with that slow, reverent dread one might show an altar built to a god you hoped would forget your name. He laid his fingertips on the stone rim. The water shivered. Not with wind, there was none. Not with movement, nothing touched it. It rippled in a slow, spiraling pulse, as though reacting to the weight of Devereaux blood alone. A shape coalesced beneath the surface. First light, then shadow, then a girl. Sabine. Her silhouette flickered like something half-remembered, hair floating upward as though she were suspended in deep water. Her face was blurred, but her hand, her small, delicate hand, pressed against the inner wall of the fountain with desperate clarity. Evelyn gasped. Lucien made a small sound, something low and broken, as though the air had been punched from him. Sabine's fingers splayed wide, pleading, the gesture of someone trying to break through from a place where breath no longer reached. Behind her, something shifted, something darker. A presence rose out of the deep, like a submerged truth finally remembering itself. Not a man, not a creature, a shape, stitched from shadow and dripping with ink that bled into the water like spilled contracts. A ledger hung in its hand, if it had hands at all. Its pages fluttered in an utter water current that did not exist, each sheet covered in cramped, clawed script. Letters that felt older than the city, older than the first brick laid on this land. The fountain's water darkened, clouding around the silhouette. The shape loomed closer, impossibly tall, as if the fountain's shallow basin contained an entire night beneath it. Lucien staggered backward. Evelyn grabbed his arm on instinct. His skin was cold. The water snapped still, perfectly still. So suddenly, it made the courtyard seem to twitch around the edges. For a moment, neither of them breathed. Lucien swallowed hard, throat bobbing.
Sabine?
His voice cracked.
I don't understand. She's trapped in there, bound, calling for help.
A ripple moved across the surface, slow, mournful, like the water itself was shaking its head. Then, from the stillness, a whisper unfurled upward, soft as steam rising from a kettle left too long on the fire.
Unspell him.
The air tightened around them.
Unspell what he promised.
Evelyn felt the words land inside her, like a bruise blooming beneath the skin, slow, inevitable, spreading. Lucien's face twisted. Grief warping into something sharp. He turned away from her, shoulders hunched, hiding the moment his composure broke apart.
Evelyn?
His voice was barely sound.
Someone gave her away. Someone traded her.
Evelyn stepped closer, but did not touch him. Not yet. Some grave needed space to breathe before it could be held. Behind them, the fountain water remained, perfectly still, like a door waiting to be opened, or a wound waiting to bleed. The phone call. Cassian held the phone between them, speaker mode, on out of instinct, as though sound itself were fragile and might break if exposed to too much air. Mercy set forward so sharply her chair nearly tipped. Bellamy's ledger pressed against her ribs like a shield she couldn't let go of. The line rang. Once. Twice. 3 times. 4. A voice answered, wary and paper thin.
Hello?
Cassian cleared his throat gently.
Mrs. Hartwell, my name is Cassian.
The answer was immediate, panicked.
Please don't. I can't talk about that anymore.
Mercy's breath hitched. She leaned closer, fingers trembling.
Please wait. We're calling about Lenore.
Silence slammed over the line. Not the quiet kind. The kind that feels like someone has just covered the receiver with both hands, weighing the choice to hang up or speak. When the voice returned, it was smaller.
You shouldn't have said that name.
Mercy's pulse hammered.
I have to know what happened to her.
She whispered.
She's my daughter.
A ragged inhale on the other line.
I don't know anything.
The woman said too quickly.
I barely knew my sister's work. I just signed the estate papers. I didn't ask questions.
Cassian spoke gently, carefully.
We saw the sealed transfer file, and the timing, and the death records.
Another silence.
Meredith was a good person.
The woman said finally.
A careful person. She never brought work home, never discussed cases. She said it kept the children safer that way.
Mercy's voice shook.
But something changed.
Yes,
The woman whispered.
something changed.
Cassian leaned forward, tone softening.
Miss Hartwell, whatever you say stays with us. We're trying to find the child your sister retrieved. The one with no documents.
A soft curse hissed through the speaker, not angry, but frightened.
She told me.
The woman stopped, corrected herself.
No, she asked me a week before she died what I would do if I found a child with no past, no name, no birth record, no family.
Mercy's nails dug into her palms.
And what did you tell her?
That it sounded like a child someone was hiding.
A broken breath.
Meredith cried. I'd never heard her cry over a case before.
Mercy's vision blurred. Cassian placed one steadying hand on the table, not touching her, but close enough she could feel the offer in it.
And then what?
Cassian asked. The woman's answer came out on a trembling confession.
She said she didn't think the child belonged to the state, or to any of the institutions claiming her. She said she was under pressure, high pressure, to send the girl to a very specific placement. A private one.
Mercy froze.
Which one?
A rustle on the other end, a decision being weighed. Then, quietly.
The Sisters of the Purple Veil.
The world sharpened around Mercy like shattered glass. Her stomach dropped. Her breath stuttered.
No.
She whispered.
No. She would never have been safe there.
I don't think Meredith believed she would be either.
The woman murmured.
She said she didn't want to sign the transfer. She said something felt orchestrated.
Cassian exchanged a dark look with Mercy.
What happened to her?
He asked softly.
To Meredith.
The woman's voice cracked.
She died 3 days later. Car accident. They said she fell asleep at the wheel. But she wasn't the type to fall asleep at the wheel.
Mercy pressed her fist against her mouth. Cassian spoke the truth, gently.
You think she was silenced?
I think she was terrified.
The woman whispered.
And I think she was right to be.
Mercy's voice came out in pieces.
Do you know where they took her? Where Lenore went after?
A long, trembling silence. When the voice returned, it was barely sound.
No one ever told me. Meredith didn't have time to leave notes, but she left me a voicemail. I didn't delete it. I couldn't.
Cassian sat up straighter.
Is it still in your phone?
Yes.
Mercy's heartbeat lodged high in her throat.
Can you send it to us?
Cassian asked. A faint, fragile sob.
I'll send it right over.
And Mrs. Hartwell?
Cassian added gently.
Yes?
Thank you for not hanging up.
The woman whispered.
Please, find that child.
The line went dead. Mercy staggered back in her chair, shaking, a sound escaping her that wasn't a sob and wasn't a breath, but something in between. A sound a person makes when the world shifts under their feet. Cassian placed the phone on the desk.
Mercy,
He said softly.
You're not alone in this anymore.
Her eyes glimmered with something raw and ancient.
No,
She said.
but she is.
Sabine through the glass. Celeste's reflection smiled. Not her smile, a stranger's. Sad, soft, aching with memories. The reflected hair lengthened, drifting higher as though lifted by unseen water. When the figure leaned closer, Celeste recognized her. Sabine.
Why?
Celeste whispered, voice trembling.
Why are you here?
Sabine's voice came from everywhere and nowhere, filtered through static, quiet as a breath against a window.
I should apologize
She murmured.
for taking your body, even for a moment. You didn't deserve that.
Celeste swallowed hard.
Lucien said you were hurting.
Sabine nodded gently. Her eyes were oceans of sorrow.
I remember you.
She said.
You were so frightened, but you didn't push me away.
Celeste didn't know how to respond to that, being remembered by a dead girl. Sabine pressed her palm against the inside of the screen. The pixels rippled outward like water.
You walked beside the fox.
Sabine whispered. Celeste blinked.
The... what?